You know that voice that whispers, "You're not ready yet." What if I told you that voice is wrong, scientifically wrong? In the next few minutes, you'll see how choosing to believe a lie on purpose can rewire your brain for flow. Here's how the smartest creators deceive themselves strategically. Picture this. You're staring at a blank canvas, cursor blinking mockingly on an empty document, or standing frozen before a project that could change everything. Your brain floods with doubt. What if I fail? What if it's not good enough? What if I'm just fooling myself? Here's the thing. 70% of creators battle self-doubt as their biggest enemy. But what if I told you that the most successful innovators throughout history weren't the most rational people? They were strategic self-deceivers. The Wright brothers believed they could fly before they had proof. Steve Jobs launched products before they were ready. They mastered something neuroscience now calls useful delusion, and it might be the missing piece in your creative arsenal. But here's where it gets interesting. Get this wrong, and you're just daydreaming. Get it right, and you unlock flow states that make productivity feel effortless. We live in a world obsessed with data, evidence, and rational thinking. Sounds smart, right? But here's the problem. Pure rationality often paralyzes us. Meet the Minotaur, your brain's vigilant security officer, stationed deep in your amygdala. His job? Keep you safe by maintaining predictability and control. When you face uncertainty, the Minotaur sounds the alarm, flooding your system with cortisol and hijacking your prefrontal cortex. Result? No flow state, no deep focus, just endless overthinking. This isn't a bug, it's a feature. Evolution wired us this way. As hunter-gatherers, caution conserved energy in scarce, dangerous times. Better to overthink a risky hunt than die impulsively. But today, this rational paralysis stifles innovation, blocking the dopamine needed for productive flow. Sound familiar? Endless research before writing? Tweaking that perfect prototype forever? You're not lazy. You're evolution's victim. Your ancient brain treats creative uncertainty like a saber-toothed tiger. But here's where neuroscience gets fascinating. The most productive creators have learned to hack this system. They've discovered how to tune their reality dial to a very specific frequency. Enter the reality tuner. Imagine your mind as a vintage radio. Too much doubt. Static drowns out creativity. Too much delusion. Distorted noise leads to crashes. But find that sweet spot, and you get a clear signal that amplifies belief while filtering out paralyzing fear. This isn't wishful thinking. It's strategic belief calibration. Useful delusion is a deliberate, slight, optimistic bias that gets you acting. When you believe you can nail that project before having proof, your brain releases dopamine as a go signal, sparking flow states where focus sharpens and productivity soars. But here's where most people get it wrong. They think it's about blind confidence. It's not. It's about bounded optimism, testable and adjustable to avoid fantasy. Now let me introduce you to some characters battling in your brain right now. The focus knight, your prefrontal cortex, valiant and ready to get things done. But he's constantly fighting the distraction dragon, your limbic system that just wants snacks, naps and Instagram scrolls. Every time you try to focus, it's an epic battle. And unfortunately, the dragon has a secret weapon. He knows how to weaponize your doubt. But here's the plot twist that changes everything. Your brain can't tell the difference between vividly imagined success and real success. fMRI scans show that mental rehearsal activates the same motor and emotional circuits as actually performing the action. When you visualize completing that project, your brain releases dopamine and starts building neural pathways as if you've already succeeded. This is why the placebo effect works. Expectation alone alters physiology, from heart rate to immune response. For creators, this means believing before proof literally tricks your brain into peak performance, overriding evolutionary caution. The most successful people aren't delusional. They're strategic about their delusions. They use their reticular activating system, RAS, like a spotlight, filtering reality to highlight opportunities while dimming threats. So how do you master this reality tuning? Meet the tune method. T. Target. Set an aspirational but testable belief. Not, I'll be famous, but I'll ship something weekly. This builds self-efficacy without fantasy. You unfold. Act first, think second. Take a 5-minute action burst before your rational brain can object. This triggers dopamine for flow. N. Neutralize feedback loops. Shield early ideas from criticism. The perfectionist peacock loves to show off elaborate plans that never launch. Don't feed him. E. Evaluate. Schedule reality checks. Use pre-mortems and base rates to stay grounded. The iteratiger only gets fed when you ship something, and each time you feed it, it gets stronger. Here's your 90-second protocol. Start with vivid visualization of completing your project. Feel the satisfaction. See the outcome. Then immediately take one micro-action. Write one sentence. Sketch one idea. Send one email. This combo hijacks your dopamine system and pulls you into flow. The Wright brothers didn't just dream of flying. They built prototype after prototype, each failure teaching them something new. Steve Jobs didn't just envision the iPhone. He iterated relentlessly using his reality distortion field with constant user feedback. Serena Williams doesn't just play tennis. She visualizes every match, every shot, programming her brain for success. But here's the crucial balance. Don't drift into pure fantasy. Schedule kill switches. Pivot after 2 failed reality checks. Blend delusion with data to sustain long-term productivity without crashes. The completion chemist in your brain mixes delicious cocktails of dopamine and serotonin every time you finish something. Feed him regularly with small wins, and he'll keep your motivation engine running. Your belief is the broadcast cutting through doubt's noise. The universe doesn't care about your rational analysis. It responds to your actions, and your actions flow from your beliefs about what's possible. This isn't about escaping reality, it's about shaping it. Every innovation started with someone believing in something before they had proof. The edge isn't avoiding uncertainty, it's dancing with it. Remember, the Minotaur isn't your enemy, he's just overly cautious. Give him small, manageable steps into the unknown, and he'll relax his grip. The focus knight can win against the distraction dragon, but only if you tune your reality dial to the right frequency. Useful delusion unlocks flow, focus, and productivity. Calibrated for genius, not foolishness. It's the difference between being paralyzed by possibility and being energized by it. So here's your challenge. Pick one project you've been overthinking. Spend 90 seconds visualizing its completion. Then take one tiny action. Right now, your future self is waiting on the other side of that doubt. The reality you want isn't out there waiting to be discovered. It's in here, waiting to be tuned. So, if reality is something we can tune, belief is the frequency that brings it into focus. But there's one more signal we haven't mastered yet: attention. Because even when your belief is tuned perfectly, your focus knight still needs energy to win against the distraction dragon. The secret lies inside your brain's chemistry: dopamine, acetylcholine, and a network that can be trained to summon focus on demand. So we'll uncover how these systems work together to create deep work states, and how you can switch them on whenever you choose. So before you scroll away, feed your completion chemist. Click right here and learn how to hack your brain for instant focus.